Hi, this is Anne, or Anne as they say in Dutch, and I'm here with day 19 of my Advent Calendar project. It is actually Sunday evening, 6:30-ish p.m. on December 22nd, so I have quite some catching up to do. I'm gonna be making 3 more videos after this one so that I'm all caught up with my video making and all caught up with my chocolate taste testing as well. So I've not been making videos for the past couple of days for a number of reasons. And so yeah, I'm gonna be catching up right now, and I'm super eager to taste test all these chocolates. So I'm gonna put the house with the chocolate aside for now, and I'm gonna dive into house 19, and we're gonna be uncovering what tip tool or insight the house holds for us today. So let's see. The paper says overthinking versus micro doing, clarity and iterating. So I'm gonna show it to you, even though I know that you cannot read it. And yeah, that's something that I am gonna be figuring out. I have not spent any time and energy on that because I'm reading the paper every time, and yet I am inclined every time to show it to you as if you would be able to read it. But trust me, it says overthinking versus micro doing, and then a little arrow pointing to clarity and iterating. So what do I mean by overthinking? Well, overthinking in this context is the overthinking before the fact or before the act or the action. I'm not talking about overthinking after the fact. So I'm not talking about ruminating or overthinking or overanalyzing after something happened, after you did something and maybe things went different than expected, or you did something and you got feedback or criticism, or you met somebody and they didn't say hi, and then your brain goes into ruminating, overthinking, overanalyzing mode. So that's also a kind of overthinking. I call that overthinking after the fact or after the act, and that's not the kind of overthinking I'm talking about today. Today I'm talking about the kind of overthinking that is before the act or before the fact. And so this is typically when we set a goal for ourselves, or we want to change something, or we want to work on something. Let's say that I'm working on a presentation or a workshop, or preparing and organizing a meeting or an event, or I'm working on a report, or I'm working on a habit change. Whatever it is, there's something that I am working towards and wanting to work towards. Something big, something small, it doesn't really matter. And I find myself, before taking any action, I find myself in this state of overthinking, of overanalyzing, of over-researching, of over-figuring things out. And I find myself being almost paralyzed by that. I'm not really taking any tangible action towards my goal or my presentation or my meeting. It's not an action that will move the needle. I am rather thinking things through again, coming up with all kinds of what if and worst case scenarios, thinking about all the things that could go wrong, coming up with all kinds of options for me to take action, and yet not taking any real action. I'm overthinking and overanalyzing. And I'm over detailing. My brain goes into all these little intricate details as well. And the reason why we do that, actually there's 2 reasons why we find ourselves in this state of overthinking before taking action. The first reason is that we want to find the perfect first step, or the perfect approach for the meeting, or the perfect outline for the presentation, or the perfect first step for our goal, or the perfect first step for our habit change, or the perfect tools to be able to work towards our goal. Whatever it is, we're looking for something perfect. The perfect approach, the perfect tools, the perfect step, the perfect something. The perfect decision, for example, is also a typical one. Like, we have different options and then we find ourselves overthinking, not sure which one to choose, because we want to find the perfect answer and find the perfect decision, make the perfect decision. And what we believe is that we can find that perfect answer by thinking things through, and then thinking things through again, and thinking things through once more. And we really think that by using all our thinking brain power, that we can find the perfect answer. But of course, in truth, we are never able, and we will never be able, to find the perfect answer, the perfect first step, the perfect approach, the perfect decision, just by thinking things through. The only way that we can get more clarity and verify all the assumptions that we are making and gather information and intel that we are lacking, because we can only get that intel and information and that feedback by taking action. So the only way to get that, to gather the feedback, intel, information, to verify our assumptions, is by taking action. If we are unclear which decision to take, the best thing to do to find clarity will be taking action. If I'm not sure what my first step should be, the best approach should be, what the best outline for the presentation should be, the best thing for me to do is to take action, to do something tangible that will move me towards my goal. Now, it doesn't need to be a big action. It can be a super small micro action. For my perfect outline, for example, my first action could be to just jot things down. Whether I want to keep them in my presentation or not, I'm just going to do a brain dump. And then I can have a conversation, for example, with a key stakeholder or a key colleague or a peer and say like, hey, this is what I was thinking of. This is the goal that we're aiming towards. Can you share your reflections on that? And that gets the ball rolling. And I did that by taking action, a micro action, a super small action step. The same with taking the perfect decision. I'm hesitating between option A and B. And this is something that I do in workshops and for sure in one-on-one conversations. We always look at super small ways, micro actions, to get an experience or to get a taste of the different options or to verify a number of assumptions. Like, for example, when I'm coaching someone on making a career choice, what we always discuss in these circumstances is different ways to get a taste for that specific career path. Let's say there's A, B, and C as career paths. We look for ways to get a taste of those A, B, and C career paths. And that could be, for example, reaching out to somebody in your network who's doing that kind of work and going for a coffee, or asking like, hey, can I shadow you for half a day or for a day so that I get a real taste of what a typical day in your work life looks like. And sometimes that gives a confirmation of the assumptions that the person was making, and sometimes it's completely different. I remember one case, for example, where on paper the option seemed like a good fit, and then the person I was coaching in our coaching said like, hey, I'm going to be reaching out to that person and see if I can follow for half a day. He did that and then realized like, hang on, all the things that I assumed about that career option were not what was happening in practice. And actually I realized it's not a good fit. And that's a really good way, a very tangible, practical way to figure out by taking a micro action, is this something for me or not? So when hesitating between options A, B, and C, by taking that micro step, by taking action that moves the needle, that generates fresh feedback and intel and information that allows to verify assumptions, by doing that, you get more clarity. And that will help to make a decision, because boom, all of a sudden, that one option was off the table. And so that's what I mean. Those are just a couple of examples of what I mean by taking micro actions, so that you really are able to verify assumptions and to gather feedback, intel, information that will help then to define the next step, or to get more clarity on the decision that you want to make or the approach that you are wanting to take. And for example, for an approach and a goal or a project, that is something that will typically be emerging. What happens is we overthink at the start. We want to have everything figured out. And there's way too much that we don't know, and way too many assumptions that we can only verify. And there's way too much information missing that we can only get by taking action. And so taking action is really important. Not a big step, not a big risk action, but a safe feeling action, a micro step just outside of your comfort zone. Feels like a little stretch, a bit uncomfortable little stretch, but also totally doable. Or project-wise, something that is not risky in a project context, but allows to verify a number of assumptions. Think of like a little prototype or a little test run meeting, or having a little sparring meeting with a few colleagues with the right expertise. There's plenty of ways to take these small micro actions. And so that is something that I would advise you to do as well. If you find yourself overthinking And it can be about anything and everything, work-related or not work-related. You find yourself overthinking, wanting to make the right decision, finding the right approach, doing things in the right way when you want to do something. So when you find yourself overthinking, I really would advise you to look for a micro action and ask yourself, what is the smallest thing that I can do that really has me engaged with my goal or the piece of work that I want to get done, that really engages me with that and allows me to verify assumptions and allows me to gather feedback and intel. And I'm looking for an action that is the smallest action that I can take that will allow me to get the feedback, the intel, the information, and verify the assumptions. If you find yourself struggling with finding such a micro action for your specific case, your piece of work, your goal, your habit change, then send me a message or leave me a comment, and I am more than happy to brainstorm with you and find a micro step that fits your context and your situation so that you can get out of this overthinking cycle and start gathering those gathering that information, that intel, that feedback, and verify those assumptions. So that was all I just talked about for now about the first reason why we overthink. The first reason why we overthink is because we are looking for the perfect answer, the perfect decision, the perfect approach, and we believe that thinking things through will give us the answer. But that's not working because there's way too many unknowns, too many unknowns, too many assumptions, too many information and feedback that is missing and that we can only gather by taking action. So thinking about it some more will not get us out of the overthinking cycle. It will only create make us feel more overwhelmed and pressured and stressed out because we are stuck in that cycle. Time is ticking and we're not taking action, and so it will add to our sense of overwhelm, anxiety, feeling frazzled all over the place, pressured, etc. And so the best way to break out of it is ask yourself, what's the smallest action that I can take, the smallest micro action that I can take that will allow me to gather some intel, feedback, information, and to verify assumptions. So that's the first one. We think that thinking things through will give us clarity and help us find an answer or the right answer, and that's not working. We need micro action to give us more clarity or to create more clarity, and then we can iterate our way forward based on the information and intel that we find. We can then take the next step already, as I gave in the example, eliminate one of the options off the table. All right, that was one reason. The second reason that we find ourselves overthinking is because it feels safe. It feels way more safe to think about something than to actually take action. When I'm thinking about a goal that I want to achieve next year, let's say, it's way more safe and fun and pleasant to be in the comfort of my comfort zone and to do some research and to watch some YouTube videos and to read some books and to talk about it with other people and to think about it and to map things out on paper without actually taking any tangible action. And so that's the second reason why we find ourselves overthinking. It's a way of procrastinating, it's a way of keeping us safe, it's a way of keeping us in that place of comfort. And of course, the downside of that is that we will not be moving towards our goal. We have the idea, the false idea, because we are thinking about it and researching and figuring things out and talking about it and watching videos. We have this idea that we're working on our goal, but actually all the things that I just mentioned are not really actions that move the needle. So we are not really working on our goal. Working on our goal really means also there taking these micro actions that really allow us to gather the feedback, the intel, the information, to really get a taste of our goal and then iterate our way forward. So that was the second reason. The first reason is the misconception that we can find clarity and answers, the right answer, the right approach, the right decision, whatever it is, that we can find that by thinking things through. Does not work. And the second reason is that it is a way to procrastinate and to keep ourselves safe in that cocoon of safety, that cocoon of comfort. Thinking about things and overthinking things and overanalyzing things and over-researching things is a way for our body, brain, and nervous system to keep us safe. And the way to break out of the overthinking cycle is by taking these super small micro actions that really allow us to verify assumptions, gather feedback, intel, information, etc. And again, here my invitation that I gave to you like a couple of moments ago still stands. If you are working towards a goal, or you're working on something, a task that's on your plate at work or outside of work, and you find yourself overthinking and you cannot find a micro action to take, don't hesitate to reach out, send me a message, or leave me a comment. All right, that's what I wanted to share. I didn't look at the time, but I think it is one of the longer videos that I made. I hope you found it helpful though. All right, this was a tip, tool, or insight for today. And now it is high time to open this box 19 and to taste the chocolate. So let's open this box. I'm gonna untie these little ribbon thingies. There we go. And so let's see what kind of chocolate we have today. Ooh, it's a scary one today. I'm really curious to see what will be in there. So let's do a little taste test. Really nice. Let's show it. I think this would be raspberry. I've said a couple of times before with other chocolates that I was tasting raspberry. Here I really do believe I'm tasting raspberry, but as you know, I am wrong 90% of the time. So yeah, if you want to see if I got it right this time, make sure to stick around till the end of the video. But it's a really tasty one. It's a really yummy one. And I love the combination of what I think is raspberry with the dark chocolate. It's really yummy. And then there's this white thingy underneath. I am not sure what that would be. Oh, it's not in focus. There we go. Oh, wow. There we go. Now it's in focus, I think. I cannot see it that well without my glasses on, but I think it was in focus. And so, yeah, I'm not sure what that white thingy is. But the combination is yummy. Raspberry, or is it blueberry? Or both? It's a really yummy taste. I'm gonna stick with raspberry and we'll see if I got it right or wrong. All right, that was it for day 19 of my advent calendar project. See you in the next video. Bye.